Hello everybody. Welcome to this episode of Pick a Card. We're going to do this for 2020. So I have quite a few oracle cards and tarot cards that are in each pile. So what you can go ahead is just tune in to whichever pile or number 1, 2, 3, 4 or stone is sitting at the top. Someone requested that I put something else to indicate which pile it is. So whatever feels good to you, whatever's calling to you, whatever you feel drawn to, just go ahead and lean into that and trust it. And I will put the timestamps in the description box below. If you want to know which decks I'm using, they're in the description box. And before I get into this, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you would like more fun, exciting readings. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you would like more content. So if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. I don't know what these stones are. I think that's clear quartz. I think that's blue lace agate. I don't know if this is amethyst or not. So don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what they mean. So I'm just doing this so that you guys can use something else to differentiate between the piles if you feel called to. So again, if you need more time, pause and tune in. Otherwise, I'm going to get started with pile number 1. Okay, so first thing, I'm gonna be going over pile number 1. I have this piece of clear quartz with it. Let's see what's coming up. I'm just gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna read them individually, but let me just start flipping them over. So the first thing we have is patience. Okay, so impatience could lead to you stopping to continue to give effort. So you want to be aware of that. You want to continue to be patient throughout this year, not just looking at it as, oh, well, I'm not seeing results within the first 2 weeks, therefore I should stop. You want to keep going. So let's see how this plays out. Next, we have self-worth. I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm a totally kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection. So people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep on knowing what I know without knowing about what they're thinking about what I already know, I think. So definitely leaning into self-worth this year, knowing that you're inherently worthy of the things that you desire simply for having a body and being on earth. Like that is literally all it takes for your desires to be worth pursuing. Next, we have the devil. This is temptations, bad habits. And I also get that this is a lot of indulgence. So this can go a few ways. Let me pull the other cards first. We have hiding. Okay, and then we have 9 of Cups. And then we have 4 of Cups. We have decoy, look for the true culprit. Self-sabotage may be at work. Yep, that's what the hiding card is highlighting. Evaluate if it's something you really need to do or if it's a tempting distraction. And then finally, we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. What I'm seeing primarily from this reading is that there's something that you're really wanting to pursue, or there's something that's really, really exciting. So this does look like something that you have the energy to put behind, because that's what the Knight of Wands does. He kind of is able to charge ahead in the direction that he wants to go fearlessly, courageously, knowing that he's worth it. That's what the Knight of Wands represents. And I'm getting that this is what you also want to tap into, the worthiness that I can do this, I can make it happen, really exercising a lot of confidence. So the patience card is just saying, don't give up, don't throw in the towel before you get to the good part. It's like if you're working on something, you want to keep pursuing it. Don't just quit right before things start getting good. So give yourself some time, be patient with your endeavors, be patient with the things that you would like to move forward with, and you're going to make them happen. Remember, every time you ask for something or you decide you're worth more or you're going to do something really great for yourself or things are really going to pick up for you, there's divine support that kind of rallies around you for that. It's not something that just goes unheard and unseen and unacknowledged. It's actually supported. So the more that you can believe that and lean into that, even without the evidence, the more you're going to be able to maintain your patience throughout. The Devil, first of all, I love this Devil card, and to me, this actually looks like a lot of fun. Now, while there, of course, can be a little bit of self-sabotage that comes up with the Devil, because this looks like a couple to me, there's somewhat of a mischievous pleasure, enjoyment. This is like hedonistic in a way, which I'm very much into. I'm not opposed to that at all, but it looks fun. It looks enjoyable. It looks like something you can really, this looks like a good time if you allow it to be. Now, the thing that the decoy card is bringing up is you just don't want it to distract you from doing things that are best, right, and true for yourself. So if this is something that completely distracts you from doing what is best for you, then you're getting into the shadow side of the Devil. But the good news about this is it can bring a lot of levity into the situation. So enjoy yourself, lean into pleasure, lean into the things that feel nourishing and good. Right? If you just do things that you think are good in the moment, then that can lead to a lot of self-sabotaging. So you want to pay attention to what your body needs, what your mind needs, what your spirit needs, and fulfilling those needs as you go, but not being afraid to enjoy yourself along the way. So don't be afraid of indulgence. Don't demonize the part of yourself that really wants to experience good things. This is where you want to lean into that more and let the Devil kind of support you in that, or the Devil energy. And then the hiding card is going to be a couple things. So depending on what you have going on, this could be hiding from your actual desires, which is what the Four of Cups represents. This can be hiding from your desires. Okay, so ignoring that part of yourself completely, like icing out the fun elements of the Devil, because this is like a great sex card, it's a great pleasure card, it's all of the like pleasures of the world. The hiding card can be a rejection of that part of yourself, or wanting to hide from your truth, or not being seen, not allowing yourself to be seen. And so there might be quite a lot in this year of 2020 where you're going to need to step into not being afraid of being seen, not being afraid of being your full self. The Knight of Wands and the self-worth energy are really going to help you with that. Don't be afraid of these things. Lean into them. That is my one recommendation for you. Now, we have the Nine of Cups. I accidentally said the Four of Cups. This is actually the Six of Cups. I don't know why I said Four of Cups. But this is celebration, having a reason to be happy, a lot of just good news. This is dreams coming true, wishes fulfilled, all of your desires. Again, they're absolutely attainable, fulfillable. Even if they evolve, even if they transform a little bit, we need to leave room for modifications. But the Patience card is what's going to help you get here. If you're not willing to, see this through, then you're going to be really disappointed. So don't throw in the towel. Don't give up prematurely. And then the Six of Cups, this is a soulmate card. If you are actively seeking partnership, if you're actively working on that, know that the secret sauce for you is doing what, again, listening to what feels good. The Devil card is actually supportive of that. So long as you're not getting distracted by things that give the illusion of, oh, this would feel good in a really unconscious way. It's about experiencing pleasure in a conscious way. The other thing with the self-worth card is that this can really be helpful for you attracting people, attracting soulmates, attracting the right types of relationships into your life that are high quality, so long as you understand what you're worth, what are you willing to tolerate, what type of boundaries do you have in a relationship or in an experience. So this is a great year to make connections. It's a great time to call in people that you desire actively and intentionally, because the Six of Cups is all in support of that. This is really going to help you out. And I'm also getting that, of course, this could be like a continuing connection with somebody or someone that you already know is a soulmate. You're like, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. It could be an extension of that, or someone new coming in, depending on what you have going on and what your intention is. Now, The other thing that this could be translating as, let's say you're already coupled, you're already satisfied, okay? There might still be connections that you need in order to get to that goal. Think about if you're gunning for a job, if you're aiming for a really big goal or a really big, ambitious, audacious thing. Connections are important when it comes to making that happen, as well as you actually stepping up to the plate and fulfilling all of that. So the Six of Cups is actually helping you to identify where in your childhood wounds, because this is also a nostalgia card, where in that young part of yourself may have your self-worth been wounded, or have you been communicated that you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, you're not this, you're not that, whatever stories might be surrounding that. Working through those, and then also calling in the people that can really support you in getting that ultimate goal is going to be profoundly helpful this year. Do not write off connections in 2020. That's going to be a bad move. Even if you have the feeling of, oh, I need to self-sabotage, I need to hide from this, I need to bury my head in the sand, you're going to want to lean into that resistance and just know that you're going to get to the other side, but you're going to have to try again, and not just try once and throw in the towel, but really be patient with yourself. Give yourself plenty of opportunities. Give yourself plenty of time for the magic to work and for things to actually move in your favor, in your direction. And that's really where you're going to see the success come, where you're going to see the right people, places, things, opportunities come through. But there's fearlessness that is helping to push you. That patience is really key here, because there's probably a lot of stuff that you're building and wanting to make happen, and it's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to lean into self-sabotage. It's very easy to hide from what you desire. And so the main goal is to acknowledge when these things are coming up, when you are getting impatient, when you do want to hide, when you do want to do things that aren't necessarily good for you, but are just unconsciously numbing you. That's what the devil can also do. So all of that, keeping this in mind throughout 2020, this is like the secret sauce to success for you, whatever you're aiming at. So lean into this more this year. Pay close attention to what your desires are. Know they're attainable, but know that you have to give effort. You have to show up for them. And there's many ways to show up, right? It's not just hustle and grind and work 12 hours a day. I mean, I know a lot of people preach that, and that's fine, but that's also not the only way to do it. Some things require different parts of ourselves in order to attain and actually get to where we want to go. So just know the devil is highlighting healthy pleasure versus unconscious pleasure. And so the more you can pay attention to where that's coming up for you, the better off you're going to be. All in all, this is going to be a very successful year. Just don't get distracted by your ego self saying things aren't moving fast enough. That's like the one piece that I would say you want to keep your eyes peeled for, and know that you're really going to have to allow yourself to be seen in order for things to really get moving. This is true in relationships. It's true in your career. Like if you want a promotion, allow yourself to be seen as someone who can step into that role. If you want that relationship, allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be seen in that way. That's really scary. We want to hide from that a lot of the time. If you're wanting that big audacious thing, you're going to have to step into that more and allow that to unfold. So that is all that I have for pile number 1. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. If you would like to check out more, go to onyxhealing.com or check me out on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. All right, here is pile number 2. This is with the purple stone. Maybe it's amethyst, maybe it's not, who knows. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm just going to start reading them and then stop periodically. So the first card for pile number 2 is surrender. Now, surrendering is not the same thing as giving up. Surrendering is more about kind of releasing the gridlock around what you think you need, right? So that's the best way I can describe it, is that this surrender piece is kind of allowing things, letting things flow, letting things move, letting things be the way that they are while continuing to show up for your desire, for your intention, but not suffocating it to death. You guys know I say that a lot. Don't suffocate the manifestation or the desire, because that's going to create more resistance. So surrender actually allows space for the things to grow and evolve in the way that they need to, even if you don't know exactly how that's going to look in the end. Next, we have sensuality. Embracing sensuality doesn't necessarily mean you're a middle-aged swinger. It simply means you're savoring one of the coolest aspects of being alive, sensory input. It's time to get decadent and reward yourself with gifts for the senses. You could drop a wad of cash on champagne and chocolate, or you could tune in and enjoy the incredible gifts around you. The taste of an orange, the sound of the forest, the texture of corduroy? I don't know your life. The point is, it's time to savor whatever your senses can grab a hold of, even if that means you're being sensual. Gross. So, sensuality, I think, is going to deliver a lot of reasons to enjoy yourself, a lot of reasons to enjoy 2020. It doesn't need to be profound. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be anything extreme. It really can be simple and basic. So let's see how this continues to show up. So we have the Page of Swords. This is new ideas, new ways of thinking beginning to emerge, and new things that you're pursuing. There's definitely some Fool energy on this card. Then we have Protect Your Heart. So I like the analogy, I can't remember who, I heard it from a friend, but I don't know where it actually came from. It was, think about your anatomy when it comes to your heart, right? You have a rib cage, you have a membrane sac around your heart. You have all sorts of things and barriers that are protecting this vital organ. And the same thing translates emotionally, right? So while we don't want to have 50,000 barriers up, it's also okay to dip your toe in the water. It's okay to feel people out as you go and move slowly around matters of the heart. That might actually be really, really helpful. Leaning more into your own personal sensuality and your experience of deep, deep feeling, while not necessarily just kind of throwing your heart out there and having it get trampled on immediately, right? Because you don't want to be reckless with this part of yourself. That doesn't feel good. And you also don't want to be so guarded that nobody can get in. So I think protecting your heart has more to do with finding the happy medium, allowing yourself to experience the pleasure that comes from love and tenderness and vulnerability, all of the rewards that live there, without being reckless with this part of yourself. And that can really take some practice, but I'm getting that that's what you want to keep in mind. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. Okay, so definitely there's a lot of release happening around what you think is best for you, okay? Because it's very easy to get locked up in, this is what I want, therefore this is what I think I need in order to make it happen. And if I don't get this thing, then I'm not going to be successful or get what I want or be able to achieve that thing. But much of the time, what we think we need and what we actually need kind of live in different areas. So be open to flexibility with that. I'm going to keep reading these, but let me pull the other cards first. So we have experience, acknowledge what it took, be patient with new endeavors. Some paths need time to unfold. It doesn't matter what time you arrive to the party, the future is waiting and you're ready now. And then we have the Nine of Stars. This is the Nine of Pentacles. So the main thing that I'm getting from this reading in particular is there's definitely a need to get to a destination, and it's throwing a wrench into things, which is why the Surrender card is coming in. Remember, throughout 2020, every time we get to this point in the year, and as January comes, there's a lot of energy and pressure around needing to do everything right. There's a lot of perfectionism that gets lit up. There's a lot of fixation energy on this is where I need to go, and if I don't get here, then I'm an absolute failure. That's really not a good strategy to head into 2020 with for you. Instead, you can look at it as the things that you want are attainable, right? But you need to enjoy the present in order to get there. Otherwise, as you start reaching these goals, they're not going to feel good. And that's the main thing that people forget, is they get so fixated on the direction that they're going. And when you get to that next destination, guess what? There's new challenges, there's new problems to solve, there's new pros and cons that emerge as you evolve into that next stage of your life, as you pursue that thing and get to that destination or achieve that goal. And if you are lacking pleasure and sensuality in the moment, if you can't grab onto what am I enjoying now, what am I feeling now, what am I experiencing now, and how can I make myself feel my absolute best now without looking 10,000 steps in front of you, that's where surrender actually comes in, because it's going to help you enjoy where you are in the present moment. It's going to help you celebrate the things that you have accomplished with this 9 of Stars, you know, enjoying the fruits of your labor, finally getting to pick some fruit. But if you don't enjoy the present moment, you're going to have a really hard time when you do reach your goals, because there's always going to be a next level, a next project, a next thing to do, a next. It never stops. And because it's like, especially if you're reading this video, if you're watching this video, more than likely you're after something. You're setting yourself up with certain ambitions or goals, or wanting to kind of peek around the corner, which is normal human behavior. But the main thing that this reading is communicating is like, yes, pursue what you want. Get after it. Go do all of the things. Show up for it. Give it effort. Make it happen. That's what the 3 of Pentacles is saying, is yes, put in the work, put in the labor, do all of that, but do not, for the love of God, miss out on all of the goodness that you have now. That is going to be one of the biggest downfalls that you could have in 2020, is if you completely neglect how enjoyable the present moment can actually be. Now, the 10 of Swords, what I'm getting here, is really helping you to surrender anything that is toxic or isn't working for you, that you don't want to bring into this new year, that you really want to work on letting go. You're able to shed all of that completely and know that the 10 of Swords is something that we all have to do. We all have to walk away from things that don't work or don't feel good or aren't right. That way we have actual space in order to pursue those bigger and better things. We're constantly outgrowing our shoes, if that makes sense. You know, we're constantly leveling up and getting to that next space. That's why this entire thing is saying, go back to surrender and sensuality, enjoying where you are in the present moment, enjoying, you know, what they were saying about like the taste of an orange. That's something that really keeps you present and in pleasure in the moment. Same thing with the 9 of Stars. It's like, celebrate what you've done now. Don't wait, do it now. That doesn't mean we neglect our goals. It doesn't mean that we throw in the towel. The 3 of Pentacles is like, you can keep showing up for it, but you also need to be willing to say goodbye to things that don't feel good. And this is going to open up all of the doors that you would like to see come to you. It's going to bring all of those opportunities. Now, the other thing that I'm getting with the 10 of Swords in particular is just keep in mind that if you have something that's taking up a lot of space, mentally, energetically, even physically, if it's taking up a lot of energy, you need to keep your eyes on that. You need to really consider, is this worth this much mental energy? Is it worth this much space? Is this actually what I want to be going on in my mind? Is this something I want to be thinking about 24/7? Decluttering the things that are in your mental space, your physical space, is going to be an important part of the process in order for you to really enjoy yourself and pursue all of the things that you want. If you're so distracted and focused on things that aren't good for you and that don't feel good, right? That's not protecting your heart. That's not surrendering. That's gripping tightly to things that you desperately want to have work, even though they simply need to be let go of. And so you just want to be really honest with yourself about what is taking up too much space and adjust from there. It doesn't mean this is how it's going to be the entire year, of course, but just keep in mind that this is what's required of you in order to level up. And that's where the discomfort comes in. So this is just saying you can have it all. You just need to not grip so tightly. You need to lean into pleasure now. You need to surrender maybe what you think you need or how it has to happen or how you need it to happen. You want to let go of that part and instead lead with the pleasure and successes and the positive stories of how far you've already come as you pursue this new level, this new ambition, this new whatever it is you're going for in 2020. And then wrapping up with the experience card again, acknowledge what it took. That is seriously what I'm getting from this entire reading is like, you've come really, really far. You have a lot of reasons to celebrate and you're ready right now. It's not something that is out in the future. It's not a destination. Don't get confused by that. And know that it will take time if you're starting a new endeavor. And you want to surrender how you get there, but just continue showing up for it. That's what these cards are highlighting. The Three of Pentacles and the Page of Swords show up for the work, the action that you need to take. All of that is really important, but don't neglect to acknowledge and celebrate all of the things that you've already done. So that is what's going to be the recipe for you getting to that next level for you. But surrender is big for you this year, and really letting go of needing to force things, instead trusting that you're going to get your desire, you're going to get the thing, so long as you continue showing up and listening to when things stop working, don't feel good, aren't in alignment with you, and just paying close attention to the things that are holding you back and need to be shed. All right, that is all that I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and check me out on Instagram for more, or go to Onyx Healing if you would like to check out more from me, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Hello. This is for pile number 3, and don't know what the stone this is, but it's orange. So if you picked this one, then this is for you. And I'm just gonna read these as I feel called to bring up the messages. So let's see what comes up for you this year. Ancestors. So the very first card is all about your roots, your lineage. Now, this doesn't mean you're trapped in stories of your lineage, but this is going to be really helpful for you to consider. Now, there's 2 factors here. There's your lineage, like the body you were born into, and then there's also the home environment that you were brought up in. Now, if you pay attention to this, you could find yourself getting really clear on what stories are helping you and what is not helping you in 2020. So if you examine this part of yourself, that element of needing to root yourself into a story that feels good and then shed the ones that don't work, that's going to be a great benefit to you. And then we have appreciation. I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. So being appreciative, grateful, this is an energy that's going to carry a lot further than other things. So the appreciation card is just helping you to get into that energy and spirit of gratitude. We have the Lovers. This will be exciting to see how this translates with the other cards, but the Lovers is big. We have Body. Okay, paying attention to what your body says, what your body needs. Does it need healing? Does it need love? Does it need indulgence, pleasure, celebration? What is it that your body needs in order to heal and feel its best? And this is really going to come in handy just energetically. We have the Queen of Swords, independence, doing things your way. This is reading as career and personal project when I'm looking at that. The Hermit, finding your own light and your own inspiration, conjuring up the feelings within yourself is going to be the path to success for you. The Hermit is really good at just being solo and conjuring up everything that he needs on his own, and that's something that we all can model. And then we have connection. Explore the commonalities, seek out your perfect fit collaborators and instigators, focus less on how it will be done and more on who you would love to do it with. Okay, so people matter a lot with this card. And then we have judgment. luck. So the wishbone and the little glyph of Jupiter down there, it just is screaming good luck, celebration, prosperity, like a lot of things just going your way. I think this is going to be a really lucky year for you in 2020. And there's a lot of stuff that is coming across as very, very unconventional, which is really interesting. So paying attention to the old stories, right? We all want to start there. If you have a lot of naysayer stories in the back of your mind, or if you're really susceptible to personal judgments and beating yourself up, or anything that's causing some self-sabotaging, go back to what stories you have both in your lineage as well as your home life, what you grew up in. Now, the Lovers, I'm getting, for many of you, this is going to be partnership stuff. This is going to be the connections that you've been looking for, the relationships you've been wanting to call in. That's definitely a core component of the Lovers. It's a highly romantic card, so congratulations for those of you who are looking for that. It's kind of like you have luck in that area this year. However, for those of you that aren't focused on that, don't worry. This is just about your decision-making process. Trust your decision-making. Know that you are able to lean into the part of you that's really looking to make healthy decisions, and you're not going to mess it up. You are not going to mess it up. You're not going to miss what's meant for you. You can delay things by stalling out, right? Not taking the divine action that you're getting called to, of course. But the Lovers is just saying, if you make a decision, if you lean into what feels right, listening to your body, that is going to be medicine for you. And that's where you're really going to get where you need to go. Now, the Body card, this is for everybody. Feeling into your body, listening to, are there aches, pains, wounds that need to be healed, fixed, repaired? Do you need to work on those? That is going to help you in 2020. And I also think that paying extra close attention to how you're taking care of your body is going to be a game changer. Do you need to work on how well you're taking care of yourself? Do you need to maybe, are you eating stuff that doesn't make you feel good? Are you getting movement in that feels really helpful, right? Because you might need cooling movement, you might need warming movement, depending on what you have going on. It's just one of those things that, of course, Virgo moon, I'm a big, big, big pusher of, we need to move. We have these awesome vessels, and we need to take care of them. And so any way that you can lean into this from a space of pleasure, enjoyment, knowing that it's good for you, that you're supporting yourself, it's going to be so expansive and healing if you really lean into that. And knowing that this is a medicinal process of listening to your body, paying close attention to it, not ignoring it, because it has the information that you need in order to heal, grow, manifest. All of the information lives in the body. The body remembers what the mind cannot. And so that is what you want to carry with you throughout 2020. Pay attention to your body and use your body for the things that you would like to experience more of. Conjuring up the emotions within your body. I talked about that with the Hermit. Making sure that you're leading with, what am I getting called to do? What am I getting nudged to do? What is my body wanting to lean into? What feels in alignment with me? Really pay attention to the feeling of it, and you're going to see a lot of things blossom from there. The Queen of Swords and the Hermit, I'm getting that the Queen of Swords is like, pursue your projects in your own way. This is going to be an important time for you to just honor the unconventional, honor you're pursuing something in a way that may have never been done before or feels really foreign to you. All of that is going to help you in 2020. Don't be afraid to do things in a way that it goes against what people might recommend. And do things that just trust yourself, trust your body to steer you in the right direction when it comes to anything personal, professional, career related. This is ringing as career a lot. So it's kind of like, if you have an unconventional idea, I would say go for it when it comes to career. And then the Hermit card is just saying you need to lean into as I mentioned, conjuring up the emotions before you are in that energy or in that environment or in that space. It starts with you. The energetics have to start in your physical body. So the Hermit is helping you to do that. It's saying you have everything that you already need in order to get where you want to go. All of the things that you're aiming at in 2020 are attainable. Right, that's always true. We can aim at things and make them happen, but you have to make your body fully in alignment with the desire, with the thing you're aiming at. So the more consistent you make this, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to see the right things become magnetically drawn to you as a result of that. Use your body. If you are in this group, if you picked this pile, the most important thing for you to pay attention to is, how does my body feel? Am I listening to my body? Am I celebrating my body? Am I doing things that are in alignment with my body? How can I make my body feel as good as I possibly can, no matter where I'm at? Whether you're dealing with chronic illness, or you just need to take better care of yourself, or maybe you're an athlete and that's super important to you. All of those things, it's like we still want to do our absolute best with what we have. And that's true for everyone who's in physical form. And this is also how you're going to call in the things that are important to you. So don't neglect it. It's going to be found in the small decisions that you make on a consistent and regular basis. And the Hermit is helping you get in touch with all of the emotions and feelings and habits that are going to be supportive. Now, the connection piece is kind of like make connections, meet people. It's okay to communicate and network with more people. And also think about, who do I want in my environment and in my space? Maybe you've outgrown some friends or some people in your space that you don't really want to give as much energy anymore. So the connection card is just helping you to redefine what it is that you want. And then also use people as kind of a thermostat for what you are attracting. It's going to be a reflection of where you are in present time, and this is good because it can tell us what we need to work on, what we need to evolve, what we need to adjust if you're confused about who you're calling into your space, if you're uncertain about that. Otherwise, you can go straight into, this is who I want to call into my space. Okay, the Judgment card, this is probably my favorite card that's on the table, because this is saying luck is on your side, Jupiter is on your side, expansion is on your side. So whether that be with love or with career or with health or whatever, the Judgment card is like, decide it's possible, decide it's for you, decide. And when you get into that space of, I am decided, I am clear, I am worthy, I am grateful for everything that I already have, you are going to just receive more and more and more. It's going to get better and better and better. So that's what I'm getting here, especially for whatever intentions you're setting. It's kind of like the luck is there. It's just about you pursuing things in a way that's in alignment with your body, paying attention to the stories, and knowing that the more you conjure up within yourself all of the things that you want to feel, leading with appreciation and gratitude, the better off you're going to be. So that is what 2020 has in store for you, and just know you have a lot of luck this year. Don't sleep on this. It's going to be a good time to really do things that you're feeling called to do this year. Don't sleep on it. Capitalize on this good luck card that you have sitting in this corner, whatever you're aiming at. That's all that I have for you today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, we have pile number 4. This is blue lace agate. If you're wondering what does it mean, no clue, but just in case you picked that one, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm just gonna read these, I don't know, in whatever way I feel is best. So let's just start with the first one. We have love. Okay, so more than anything else, this has to do with you internally. I know that is so cliche of me to say, but it's kind of like, if you're looking for love, where is that going to come from? It's actually going to come from you, and then it's going to get reflected to you externally if you're working on this, right? If that's something that, you know, you have a lot of wounding around or whatever, that's also stuff that needs to be worked through, the shadow side of whatever might be coming up around that. And then this is also kind of the energy of abundance and creation. There's a lot of loving energy around that as well. So kind of falling in love with your pursuits, falling in love with what you desire, and letting that be what really drives you in 2020. Next, we have acceptance. When I get to know new people, I accept their actual traits rather than ones I project onto them. Same goes for not new people I already know. Acceptance is the delicate art that reminds us everyone is their own unique self, and we can't expect them to ever be anything but. Man, how do those snowflakes do it? So this very, very similar to the love card as far as like self-love, self-acceptance, self-adoration, leaning into all of that, and then accepting who you are, where you are, regardless of all of the stuff that you might want to improve, change, evolve. Acceptance is a really important part of the process. We have Four of Swords, not forgetting to rest and take the time that you need. We also have everything will be okay. This is a confirmation that things will work out one way or another. It's kind of like they have to. The plane is going to land at some point. I know there's a lot of people who get really frustrated, like, I've been working on this for so long, it's never going to end, right? So that's something where it's like, through the big picture of life, yes, of course, there's always going to be more things to work on, more things to do, more problems to solve, more pieces to click into place. I personally don't consider that to be a bad thing. It's just what happens when we're evolving as we level up. You know, new things present themselves, but in the end, everything is going to be okay. So just understand that the plane will land, things will smooth out, things will evolve, and things will ultimately be okay. We have the Queen of Wands. Fire, personal power, authority, and justice. This is balance, equilibrium, and really the Justice card is highlighting going in with a level head. That's going to be a great asset for you in 2020, is being well balanced mentally and how you're thinking about things, not getting too wrapped up in what is emotionally swaying you. Otherwise, you can feel like you're going to go off the rails, right? If you're just like following the really intense emotions without processing them and kind of letting the dust settle. And so the Justice card is just highlighting that you want to lean into a balanced mindset. We have Harvest. Prep soil for optimal growth. Your crop is ready for harvest. Don't let it die on the vine. It may be time to call it done. Okay, so know when to throw in the towel, because sometimes, you know, there's definitely a lot of joy and ambition that can be infused into things, right? Like if you're just absolutely in love with a project or a personal endeavor, don't throw those things away. But in the same breath, if there's something that just keeps falling out of alignment with you, sometimes if we just call it done and let things settle, things actually work out better than we anticipate. And then we have the Knight of Stars. So this is equivalent to the Knight of Pentacles in a normal deck. And what I'm getting from this card is really about boundaries, for one, is going to be really important. And the second thing is just being willing to pursue your professional endeavor, whatever that might be. And so all of this is really about slowing down. And I know this is probably going to be counterintuitive to a lot of you. Now, there is a perception that like the faster you move or the faster you go, the faster you'll get things done and the faster you'll make things happen. I'm not getting that as being the case for you. The Four of Swords is a particularly slow card. This is a hibernation card. It's a rest card, taking time for yourself. And there's a sense of relaxation and acceptance that's just radiating off of this reading. For you, I think the major themes that are going to play a big role in your success, however you're defining that, in 2020 is going to be around mindfulness. Are you paying close attention to what you're actually giving your attention, your love, your adoration to? Or is it something that you're kind of glossing over completely? Is it something you're ignoring? Is it something that you're not paying attention to? Now, no matter what the case may be, ultimately, slowing down is going to help you feel into neutrality. It's going to help you feel into balance. It's going to help you feel into support and clarity. And it's going to show you, it's going to reveal the parts that you do want to continue to show up for. The Knight of Stars that's a really important factor with this energy right here. So don't ignore it or bypass it. Instead, it's kind of like slow down to speed up. That's going to be really helpful for you in 2020. And instead of just trying to burn through and have a continual experience of output, that's really going to dry up your inner reserves and your well. And you're not going to be showing up in the full vibrance of the Queen of Wands. This is kind of what you want to aim for. You want to have this much energy and letting this be sustainable throughout 2020. That's hard to do, right? But the only way that you can really cultivate that fire inside of you is by paying attention to, how am I loving, accepting, honoring myself? How am I paying attention to meeting my needs? How am I showing up for the things that are important to me? And letting that be what stirs up that fire. Do not ignore it. Do not bypass it. That's for sure. But allowing yourself to lean into the loving vibration coming off of here. Again, this has less to do with romance, and it has more to do with the energy of love and adoration that you have for yourself, and then you get reflected back to you. Yes, it can come in the form of a person. Of course, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be manifesting partnerships in 2020 because that is one of the most common things that we want, right? Is that connection. But it also has to do with the energy that you're bringing in to the things that you're pursuing. And so you really want to take time to be mindful. Don't spend ages on a decision, right? If it becomes overwhelming, then just pick one and stick with it. You're not going to ruin everything by making a decision. But really take some time to refuel yourself, accept where you're at, honor what's coming up for you. Prep the soil. Okay, so let me go back to this harvest card for a second. The first line is prep soil for optimal growth. And the main thing that's coming through is that slow down to speed up energy. If you're just trying to burn the candle at both ends and move really fast, then it's like the train is just going to start going off the tracks. And so instead, you really want to be mindful and intentional in your pursuits in 2020. And I'm getting this as more of an advice reading. It's like, nope, go back to yourself, go back to your self-love, go back to how you're showing up, go back to how you're bringing yourself, what energy you're bringing into the situation. Are you trusting? Are you feeling supported? And by feeling supported, remember, that's not something that comes from the outside. The feeling of support, you can have tons of money in the bank and feel completely unsupported. You can have everything that you need and feel completely unsupported. And that's why we want to do the internal work around what's happening for me. How am I loving myself? How am I accepting those tender and wounded parts of myself and leaning into the fact that up until this point, everything has turned out okay. It has worked out. It has ultimately turned out to be exactly as it ought to. And even if we're in a tough position, if we're in a tough spot, by slowing down and just acknowledging, okay, this is the way things are in this moment, I can still get into this space of finding some mental balance, mental clarity, as well as leaning into the Queen of Wands energy, that fire, inspiration, motivation, and leading with this loving vibration so that you can really reap the rewards and success of all of the effort that you've put in. And this is just a great strategy for you. So remember, if you're getting really worked up around like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing enough, if there's a lot of frantic energy that's contrasting this, that's why you have these cards on the table. It's saying, yes, show up, but show up in the right energy. Show up with your tank full and your heart ready. Show up ready to receive. Show up ready to be supported. Show up knowing that everything is going to be okay. Showing up as the full expression of yourself is going to yield the greatest results. And the more you can practice that throughout 2020, the better off you're going to be. Do not be afraid to take rest time. Don't be afraid to, whatever rest looks like for you. Maybe it's licking your wounds. Maybe it's seeking support and like professional help, like a therapist or counselor. I know a lot of you work with me, so it's just like whatever you're needing, even though it feels slow, this is how you're actually going to show up as the truest version of yourself. And then you're going to attract the right things. Again, we go back to, it's about what you have reflected to you on the external, in the external world. And that's how you can really evaluate, am I moving in the direction that I want to go? And if not, go back to your center, go back to your core, go back to what is and isn't working internally, and show up for the things, as the Knight of Stars would recommend, show up for the things that are important, but you need to start with adjusting the energy first in 2020, not matter. Stop focusing on matter, focus more on energy, and you're going to see things shift externally. Then the matter will follow. You want the blueprint to work out first. You want that to be all sculpted and to start working on that internally, and then everything else will click into place. So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much, everybody. I absolutely appreciate you. If you would like to work with me or check out all of the other good stuff I have to offer, go to onyxhealing.com. You're also welcome to check out my Instagram at onyxhealing. And if you would like to know which decks I use, they're in the description box. That's all I've got for today. Have a good one. Bye-bye.